Hi, and welcome to, this is number 49, video 49 of Wednesday Wobbles. I'm planning on a year of these. So 49, 50, 51, 52, if I'm correct, there will be 3 more after this. It's been a long year, but it seems to have gone very fast as well. This balance activity is really based on a yoga pose called Artichandrasana, which is half moon pose. It's a static balance pose. So once you get into the pose, you balance there. It's a one-leg pose. It's good for a lot of things, or it can be good for a lot of things. But as usual, what I'm really working on is not getting into the pose and having you hold it there for this particular activity in Wednesday Wobbles. It's more of the transitions, because one of the things that I really notice in my students and myself as we're moving through space and we're getting older is a lot of the times it's the transitions, right? It's movement to movement where we lose our balance. And so while static balance can be like tree pose, can be a great thing to work on, right? I'm statically balancing. There's a lot of good reasons to do this. In real life, it's my ability to get down to a chair and to stand back up and be really solid, to be able to stand on my legs and reach for something and maybe counterbalance with my leg and pull back up. So I'm calling these half moon rocking horse. It links up to, I think it's video number 17, where we did an Artichandrasana balance that looked like this. I'm going to use the chair just to demonstrate this. The balance we did in that video was, we started here, we bent the leg and we just brought the toes in and back out and in and back out. So the transition was in typical Artichandrasana, you're in a triangle pose, you move your body out, you come on up, and this back leg lifts up and the top arm lifts up and you hold this thing, right? Hand can be on the ground, a block, the wall, a chair. So we used a transition in that video many moons ago, 25 or so ago. And so now I'm going to teach you sort of a rocking horse activity. I want you to feel free to use something taller than the seat of a chair, like a stool. You could use the counter, which is going to be even higher. You could even use the wall. I'll show on the chair. So I'm going to set myself up. My right leg is turned out towards the chair. So there's external rotation in this thigh. Now, so my hip joint is doing something a little different. I'm going to bend the knee, put my hand out, and if you need your hand down, start there. I'm just going to keep this hand out of the way here. I'm going to move up a little bit and back a little bit and up. And when I say up, obviously I'm going down on this side, but by up, I'm talking about this side. So I take the weight onto the right leg, left leg comes up, and I come back. Yep. So I'm rocking in and out of the posture, and you can see, or in and out of this shape. You can see that I am starting with my knee bent and my knee comes a little straighter. It can be really small, like you could keep it here to begin with. Yeah. And then as you feel more comfortable, get bigger and bigger with it. Yeah. And when you do this, we really want your right foot, your right ankle, your right knee, and your right hip to be facing the chair. So notice as you continue to do this, let me do the other side so I'm a little more even. As you do, 5, 10, 15 rounds of this, that the tendency will be for this leg to start to turn in internally. Not necessarily the worst thing, but what we're trying to do is keep a little bit of external rotation. So the foot, the knee, and the hip face the chair. So I'll rock over and I'll rock back. Little rocking horse activity. Could I make it harder? You can always make it harder. If you want to make it harder, you really come into the posture, pause, and then you come back down. You want to make it harder, even harder than that, right? You could, let me grab my yoga block over here. You could have the touchdown be much lower, right? So my knee is slightly bent, I rocking horse over, and I come all the way back up. So the range of motion is further over and further back up. I could also not use my arms at all. That's going to make it really hard. And this is my leg that has a little less tendency to be able to balance than this leg. So And I don't say that to set myself up for failure. The truth of the matter is that this foot just doesn't seem to want to hold me up the way that this foot does any longer. Doesn't mean I don't practice. So on this side, right, I could also, you can see me struggle a little bit, but remember that part of wobbling is giving the brain, the nervous system, a chance to adapt to our movement patterns, the deficits that we have in certain areas. Like I would say there's a little bit of deficit in this foot and this ankle in terms of its ability to balance me compared to this one. All right, so that's it. So it's rocking horse, half moon rocking horses. So I'm never really going into the pose and holding it as I might in a traditional yoga class as I'm standing here in Artichandrasana. Definitely feel like you can do that if you like. It's more of an action of transitioning in and out so that my balance system is being challenged to find stability here and stability here. Go forth and prosper. See you next time. Bye.